Well, howdy all. Welcome on back to the campfire. Cowpoke here. We're back in some more Valheim. We have a fun build today. We're doing a bigger, more Japanese style base compound type place that we're going to be having here. Now that we actually have stone and plenty of iron to actually make a decent size little outpost. But then again, our overall run today is still cozy. So we're still going to be kind of cozy and everything else, but we need to upgrade from our little started little place, and we're going to be building one right up here on top of our little hill that we have here. It's going to be kind of interesting. The overall idea that I have can be done completely flat, but I'm going to be trying to utilizing the mountainside or the hillside of this. So all these trees are going to have to go. The main place is going to be sitting right here, and then it's going to branch off, and it's going to have a little outside section over here. We're not outside, but it's going to be another little tiny building here that's going to be like the main kitchen-ish area. It's going to be kind of interesting. I think that's going to be kind of nice. So we have a lot of clearing to do. We got to clear all these trees down, or at least not all of them, maybe from there all the way down. And then we need to level off at least two to three different pads and get that foundation going. So let me work on clearing everything else out, but hope y'all enjoy today's ride and today's build. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one. Hope y'all enjoy. All right, so I got a pad laid out and everything else. A lot of this is just flatten this entire region out, and then we are going to be building up from here. So this is going to be like a small Japanese castle. It's not going to be this big grand thing and whatnot. We're trying to build cozy type of settlements this time around instead of these ginormous mansions that I normally build. But this is still going to be a 3-story, but it's going to be 1 story. Well, technically it'll be 4 stories because it's going to have a stone section that's just where like it's going to be like a big pad type thing, but there's going to be stairs that lead up from here up into the actual 1st story, and then there's going to be a 2nd story where my place is going to be, and then there's going to be a 3rd story which is kind of a lookout type thing. So it's going to be a 3-tiered one for this main section here. This is going to be where the kitchen is, where we're going to be putting some storage and everything. But it's mainly going to be the kitchen-esque area where, well, the kitchen, and where we cook all our foods and whatnot. So that's going to be this little section there. Then there's going to be this open area right here. It's going to be mainly designed, we're going to put probably some gardens and stuff around the sides just to make it a little bit nicer, but this is like the open area, and it's going to have this little wall bridge. It's going to come out here. This is going to be built up with a lot of stone, so it's going to be a pretty flat pad. Then we're going to be walking it down into a staircase the way up. So you're going to be approaching up from here, you're going to walk up, and then you're going to walk up the stairs, then you're going to walk up the stairs into the actual courtyard section. So that's gonna be pretty cool. And then we're gonna have like a small, like tiny little thing right here, which is not gonna be super small, but it's gonna be a little outpost for like main where chests are gonna be, so you can like drop off I don't know, various different other deals and whatnot. Maybe like drop off like wood or little knickknacks or whatever you need to put there. Be like a little cubby hole or something there, or we'll put it like a couple mannequins there and make it like the guard post and whatnot. That might be kind of cool there, a little guard post. Then I thought about building another little section right here that kind of attaches down below, and give it a make this more of the vault, if per se. Like we're gonna put all our trophies, vaults, money, stuff like that. I think that's going to come down into this region, but this might be an afterthought. We'll see how that turns out. We're going to see how the rest of it turns out first. The main build's going to be this in the courtyard section, so I think it's going to be kind of pretty cool. A lot of this is going to be built up with stone and not like actual stone foundation, and not this stuff. So we're going to be building up sync. So what I actually do, if you're actually curious from what I'm doing here and why I have this layout, I don't have a this is my planning stage of what I'm thinking in my head, versus what I have seen from other castles and everything else, like real life castles and stuff from Japan. So I'm like, all right, this is kind of like what I'm thinking about doing. This is going to be like the grand hallway that comes in. So you go one way for the actual castle section, the other way for the deal. So this would be like the inner section right here, but it's going to be like a pretty decent hallway because I'm thinking this is more of a stronghold type thing. Yes, you can attack from above, but that's not going to be the point. It's just kind of limited space and everything else to actually do all this. I could stick it way down there, but I kind of don't. I'd rather have the higher scenery. I kind of could have stuck it up way higher, but then I'll be way too far away from the rest of the base and from the everything else, and I didn't want that. So where we have this is kind of like where we have the pig pen would probably be the absolute best place for this build. However, it has the giant stones there. It has our pig pen. I don't want to take that away. And just have that, and we can turn that into something else later on outside if we don't want a pig pen. It can be where the wolves go or whatnot eventually. But so this will still give me like a hierarchy view and everything. So it'll still work out. It'll still work out. If only like the hillside was just a little bit closer, or if this was just a little bit flatter area up here. This was the highest it goes, that would have been better, but it is what it is. So now I'm going to come in and start filling in with stone pads and whatnot. So I need to get the mason steel and start getting that in. But this middle section is going to be dirt because it's going to be grass, and it's going to be maybe some flowers or something like all around here, or plants of something that actually looks like some type of vegetation. But the rest of this is going to be stone. So let's go get that and start building up that foundation, and we'll start from there. All right, I think we have technically phase 1 done. Based off how everything is planning out and everything else and how this is going, we are doing a little bit of adjustment. Not by much, not by much. The main adjustment's the size of this. I was wanting to have this stick out a lot farther and put like a little section here, but it's a lot of stone. So we're actually going to just nix that. We are going to put a little building down there, like a small one. That's going to be like a storage section type thing, where like the guardhouse or something is going to be down there. Where like the, I think about the guardhouse, I think it's going to be kind of nice there. But anyways, so we actually have our staircase that's going to come up and down. We'll make it more pretty with some outline stuff and everything else, so no worries there. But this is going to pretty much be the foundation to everything. So we're going to have this, then we're going to have our walkway that's going to come right in here, which is going to be our entrance there. It's going to come right in here. We're going to be able to walk around in there. This hall, the section right here, is going to be wood, so we can keep this wide. Now, the outer section, this section is still going to be stone all the way around. So it's going to be kind of an interesting build and everything else. So we're going to be utilizing these. I thought about doing the alternate stuff here. It's kind of nice, but I think I might just do here because it's only going to be one high. It's not going to be much higher than this. This is going to be the top, and then there's going to be the actual wood there. But what we need to do is actually stick that there, and then we're going to stick that there, and then this is going to be a staircase. It's going to come here. Now I am going to utilize the underneath of this. It's going to be a little cramped. I know it's going to be a little bit cramped. I think it'll be all right though. I have thought about making it a little bit taller, but I kind of want to use this bottom section as like a vault-ish. So it's going to be kind of small. I thought about maybe like taking this down one and then dig it down just a little bit. So I might do that to give a little bit headspace. What I'm talking about is like take this and then I might actually end up doing this. I think this might actually turn out a little bit better. So we'll just take this down by one all the way around. Have a staircase that comes here. And then we will have our foundation down below like this. And then it'll give me that additional headspace. And this will be like the actual vault section. This will be like where all the money or storage or whatnot goes down here. And then there'll be the next one is going to be like the main dining hall where the fire is going to sit. And there's going to be some kind of a ventilation that's going to go up the middle. And then the second section is going to be where the my broom's going to be, and then the top is the watchout tower. So I think that's going to work out pretty good there. So yeah, I think I'm going to nix that. I'm going to nix this thing, drop it down by one block, and then that's going to give me that additional headspace. I think that's going to be kind of nice there. But this is going to walk up into the hang on, just like this, and this is going to walk up into the floor, which is going to be the Grand Castle section. All right, and then over here, this is going to stay flat here because again, this is just the cooking kitchen area. I'm going to be building the fireplace probably maybe around here, maybe around here, maybe more in the central section, maybe in the center. Maybe I'll do something like the fireplace in the center, put like a double fireplace here, and then that's going to vent up top. That's where it's going to release and have a little bit vent up top because we have to have the fire go somewhere. So I think that's where that's going to go, and then everything else around is going to probably be the kitchen area. I'm trying to think where the best place for it going to be, but this is going to be the kitchen section. We're going to be looking around and everything else. I might have my buddy Surface come in here and try to give me like an idea of what she might be thinking. She's my interior decorator for the most part. I just do the foundation stuff in the main structure. So anyways, so let's do that. I need to bring more stone up here. I'm gonna knock all this down, just lower this by one. I think that'll work, and then we can start getting the outline of the rest going. I have thought about making this the stone wall up one, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just the one slower one and then a wood one there. And that's going to give me my, like, what I'm talking about, something like this. Maybe something like that. Well, I don't have any wood on there, but maybe something like that or that. Maybe like something like this right here on the outside, and then I can use those as shelves. And add a little window section that can be like a little shelf section. Maybe I'll do something like that. I think that might turn out okay. Because I think I think that might turn out, because then we can have like this little inside shelf section all the way around. I think that actually might turn out pretty slick. I think I like that. I think it'd be kind of cool. All right, so that's what I'm going to kind of focus on. We're going to play around with that, see how that looks. I'll show you that when I actually get to that part. Right now, I still got to finish up the rest of the stone section of the castle. Get that up one more, and then we will start working on the framing of this whole thing. And we're going to be using iron posts for this to provide that extra support for the height in the main one. The small building's not going to have that, but the castle section will have that, just because of how tall it's going to have to be and the support it's going to have. All right, so let me get to work on that, and we'll be right back. All right, we've got all that all laid out. I think we're pretty much done for the most part with the stone. As you can see, I have put the fireplace right in the middle. It's massive. It is just massive. It's just what we have limited to what we can, because if I just stuck like one there, it just wouldn't look all that well. And if I put like two little fireplaces, which I don't think I can I put regular fireplaces? Okay, I can. So I can put regular fireplaces in there and everything else, but then that's kind of... I might swap over just to the smaller regular fireplaces. I might. I can see how that can work, but I think that the look of the bigger fireplaces are actually kind of nice. And having them double up like that kind of gives it a different type of feel to it. The only problem is the venting section. That's going to be the biggest issue with it. So this is going to be we're going to be using these heights. So it's going to be this tall per level. And everything else, I'm still going to be using these because these are still really good height orientations. Or I'm going to be using these. Well, technically these. Everything else. But it's going to be that double height there. It's going to be two of these tall. It's just mainly the venting of this is going to be the problem. A lot of the times when it comes to certain builds and everything else is the venting, because the smoke just piles up, and the big ones do quite a bit, but the small ones do just as much, or can do quite a bit. It's like it can. So it's going to be kind of interesting how we're going to do this. I'm going to play around with having these two here. I'm going to try to squeeze down the central deal, so it's not going to be... What I mean by squeeze down, it's going to be, for instance, I'm going to have this up and up, and then I'm going to do... let's make a quick... I'm just going to do a quick show of what I mean by squeeze. And then we're going to have this there, and then one all the way around, and it should catch. So we'll just do a quick one all the way around. We're not going to do the big ones, obviously. Let's do the small ones all the way around. And then what this should do is, let me grab that wood. Give me, ow, son of a bitch. Hey, give me. There we go. But what it's going to do, it's going to focalize it into a much smaller condensed section, so it shouldn't bleed over, and then have another post that goes up there, up on the top side, and that's going to go up, and then it's going to like really hone in how the fire is going to go. But this is going to be like the hangout section, where rooms are going to, or like little sitting areas and everything else is going to be, and then we'll have, this is going to continue up to the next floor, because it's going to be kind of built in. So, well, it's going to be kind of interesting how this is going to work, because the next floor is kind of like the other build that I have. I'm contemplating if I want to do the whole shrink and then shrink type thing. Like shrink as in, right now what we're going to have is because we're going to be matching the walls. So it's going to be here to here, and then the next one in, the next one is going to be, because the roof deal is going to stick out. So it's going to be, this is going to be the roof. So it's going to stick out from there, and then it's going to come in one, and then that's going to be up top at least, and that's going to be that roof. And then so the next piece, intersection, just like the other build that I have, is going to sit over there. And so this is going to be the next. And so I might actually have the next two be about the same in width, or might make it a little bit smaller. We'll see how it plays out. We'll play around with it once we actually get all that sucker in there. But I'm going to be figuring out where the next section of the stairs are going to be, so that's going to be a fun little spot for it. So I'm going to actually get around, and we're going to start putting up the flooring all the way around this entire thing, and start leveling out and putting the foundations of everything. So I actually am going to need to bring up a lot of wood and a lot of iron and stuff up here. That way I can start working on the foundations and the height control and everything else like that. So now we have we have rain, but I got to do the flooring, and then I got to do the framing of everything else with wood and all the other fun stuff. So let's get to going on that.
And it's storming.
Yeah, it's raining cats and dogs
all the time.
Yeah,
all the time.
The weather, I checked, like, so I turned off the server last night, and I increased the drop rate higher so I can go back and get a ton of silver and iron and stuff and fur, so I can make armor. I was like, we're not getting enough higher drops for the rare stuff. Right. So I just turned it on, so I just grinded a lot of that stuff out. Then I turned it back off because we didn't have to worry about it. I don't know if we should turn it back on or not, but right now,
if we need it in the savannah area for the black metal, maybe.
Yeah, for black metal or tar or whatever we want to do.
Is it night or just stormy?
It's stormy. It's not night.
Oh god.
Unless it just became night.
I don't know. It's dark.
Yeah, I just heard the music change. It became dark. It became night. All right.
Okay, I go lay down.
It became both.
Yep, either there or on this wall, but yeah, I would put it in the far wall over here. And that'll leave all this for storage or whatever.
Right there. Should I have it inside too, or no? Get a little bit more room? Does it matter?
Inside.
Yeah. Do you think right there would be good?
I would have it so it sticks out the back a little bit, because chimneys always look better sticking out of the wall.
Well, I'm not. So this is a Japanese style. It's not going to have a traditional chimney. It's going to vent up and go into the middle like a traditional, even like a Viking one that goes up to the top. It's going to have a rafter section, and it's going to have little windows that vent out.
I suppose since we need the big iron thing, so yeah, we need the longer one. So yeah, that'll work. Do this.
Do we need two of these or one of these?
I think just one. You put that iron toward the back, the long iron hangy thing, then you don't need the wood one.
Well, then I probably
you
need to
can-
have this here then, so you can have room.
I think there'll be room.
You think so?
I think so. I think I've always
When
put it in the wall.
The
And then we've got
metal,
the cooking. Oh, the long metal thing.
the giant metal thing will go there.
Yep.
And then
Goes
you
along the back.
have
The
Yeah.
cooking pot and the
then the brewer's pot
brewer
goes
pot.
there.
That sits up in the front.
Okay, yeah, I think it can all fit in one.
And see, I don't think I've ever put them all the way into the room. I've always put them into the wall like that.
Yeah, and this
I
will
just think
give
it
us
looks better.
yeah, this gives us a lot more room to work with.
Yep. And we can put chests and whatever
Now-
in this corner or.
Also, how this build's going to work, the wall's going to be back here like that.
Oh, nice. Okay. That'll be nice.
And so
for
we're
a
going to
little-
have like this little shelving stuff all the way around.
Yeah, you won't be able to put anything on it. The
can-
walls take up the room.
You mean you can't?
I think-
Well, you can put like decorations and stuff.
Can you?
So, like you get the horizontal item stands. I'm pretty sure that can go there.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't
Okay.
have any nails and stuff, but
Yeah, I've got nothing on me, honestly.
it adds a little bit. It makes it less claustrophobic because the stone.
Yeah.
Not until we get the thinner stone, then a lot of this can probably get updated and replaced. But
Is this your courtyard?
yeah, this is gonna be the courtyard. Progress report. All right, so I ran into a little bit of pickle when I was doing all the framing, because I know from the very beginning I was like, we're going to do an 8 by 10 because we're going to 10 by 12 roof. That's way a lot of Japanese style homes, they're all symmetrical, but they're more rectangle. They're not really super square. At least the castles aren't. They're a little bit longer on one side and everything else, but how to get the roofs all set up. So we're doing a still even numbers. But it looks, when I was doing this, it turned out that I did an 8 by 8 and not an 8 by 10 on the bottom section. Well, I got that cleaned up, but I wanted to show you what I am doing for reinforcements. So you can see I'm doing the steel shafts, but the little trick that you can do to like hide a lot of these things, so you can hide them pretty easily. You can put a little bit of a cover on them, so it doesn't just stick out like this. So that's what we're going to be doing once we have the rest of the framing done. And I'm going to be bringing the rods all the way down farther in. So we'll be coming all the way down. That way we get all the support we possibly can. But yes, I did have to extend this side over here. That's the main thing. Did have to extend this section out by 2 in order to get what we're looking for. And so now that I have the base bones on the bottom done, and actually in the fireplace actually sits better. It actually sits right in the middle of the entire structure. It's a lot more even. As you can see, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. And the same side, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. It is actually symmetrical, sits perfectly. That means the roof's going to turn out really, really well, really nice. It's going to be pretty good. It's going to be pretty good. Now, the other thing you can see what I did is once you come up here, that's going to lead you up in this little section. But then you have this right here that brings you down to the underneath, and it's fully supported by the beams of each section right here. That way it gives us more of a foundation. It's a lot solid. It's more solid and everything. I put these down here so I can repair and everything else. So this is turning out pretty slick. While I'm down here, I did have this was just a little bit too far, so I need to shrink this down to there because all I wanted was to box out the fireplace. Yes, I can put wood right over it, so you could like block out a little bit more. But right now I think so. Like I can do this, and that kind of covers it up a little bit more. Need to get in a position I can actually get to that. Oh, here we go. It's like that. Boom. That way it's more covered in the bottom, but it still gives me this outline down here, which is fine. I'm not going to complain too much about that. Not right now. we're in the detailed section. We're not in the detailed section. We're in the framing section still. So we're still doing frames. As you can see, I'm still doing regular wood for this section. It's only the key spots that I'm actually doing iron with. That does a couple of things. One, it still gives me the strength and foundation I'm looking for, because it's in the key sections, and the wood still provides a lot of support there. And then this is another big key right here, built in, and we're built into the stone. So this is still going to provide plenty of things. The whole thing does not need to be iron. Once we get all the way to the top, you'll see that we just don't need that extra support all over the place. These alone provide plenty of support, but those are like squared out so they can provide more support in the middle, because we do need to build up that direction there, because the key supports again are going to be metal to metal. So that's going to be the main things. The rest of the fill-in sections should be plenty strong. It's about to get dark, but now I need to get the framing for the second and third final level. So let me get that knocked out, and let's go jump in bed because it's getting dark. And I don't want to play with graylings. They keep running out here and attacking me, and it's getting annoying. Well, alrighty, we're touching base. We finally got this all set up. So we have the skeleton, or the foundation. We have the foundation, the framing all done. We have the roofing all set up. I'm going to show you, because that's the next step, is putting the roof on. I also had to repair all this because of the roof. But you can see how I actually did this. So you can see all that, where I actually put the iron beams all the way around. You give it the most support I possibly can. This is going to be a walkway. That's why it's the only piece that's covered. That's why that piece right there is not covered. Because just like the last build that I did, the roof's going to come up from here and it's going to stick out. And it's going to be the same thing here as well, but it's going to be slightly different. So I think it's still going to work out kind of nice. So this is pretty much the watchtower. The smoke's going to come up here. I'm going to have a couple little vent type sections in each one of the corners, so there's something that the smoke can get out of. But all in all, it's still pretty good. This is the second floor here. This is where going to be two rooms are going to be set up. So I have this one set up right here. This needs to be blocked off because that's just me marking where that goes. So this is going to be the main room here. I think it's just a little bit more spacious and everything. And the second room is going to be right here. It's a little bit skinnier, but it still works. You have a good length in there. So it's still a two-bedroom type of build, type of section up there. And then we have our main lounge section. Turned out real nice. We're going to be doing a lot of decorating on this floor and everything. I still got to build the rest of this up and get a nice door right here. A door will still be kind of nice just to have, just to give that a little bit separation of the two, because we're still going to have this hallway here and this double doors here, and everything else. But right now I have those beams right there. Once I get the roof on top, I'm going to take these beams out just because I don't like that. I want to be stone all the way around. And as long as it stays up, which it should all stay up without the beams all the way down. One, I'll get some iron back and some wood back, but then I can keep that traditional style of the castle stone, bottom section of the stone all done. I did think about leveling this up higher, just try to give it a little bit more depth to it, but I think for this being in Valheim, I think we're just going to stick to this style, or this height, because I did think about like doing one step up, and then we'll build up from there, because it will put it at the same height as this, and it gives it that more, it is built on a stone foundation look, versus what it's outside. It's supposed to be like a little bit smaller one. But if I really wanted to do that and really like have I wanted the castle stone wall to be a little bit higher than this. So if I wanted me to capture that illusion, this will have to stay lower. If I wanted it to be different and have this higher, I would probably, to make sure the illusion is still there, that be also one block higher. And I think that's just a little overkill for right now. So I think this still kind of works. I think it'll be pretty cool, but we never know. Once I actually get to this building, it'll be pretty slick. But let's get to the roof, 'cause I'm going to show you what I'm kind of talking about at the very, very top and how I'm setting this roof up. Let's get up here real quick. So the reason I have it jutted out like this and not have it on the intersections is because of how the roof's going to be laid out. Because in a lot of traditional Japanese style roofs, you still have a wraparound roof, but they still have the piers right up there. So they don't actually just do a dome roof. They still have these big slides, but they still have a wraparound. So, and we're doing the lower bits here. So we're going to pop that sucker there. And then we're going to pop this sucker here. And then we're going to pop this guy around here. And this is going to wrap around. I'll do this once. I'm trying not to fall off real quick. Sun bearing at me. So now you can see that it has that one complete wraparound. It's going to have that wraparound, that first layer there. And then I'm going to be building up the inside sections there. And that's going to be exposed. It's going to have a little bit of a slit right there. And then this will build up the rest of the way to give it the clean, come on, rest of the look. And with the iron, we should still be, yeah, we're golden on that. So you can see that that just still bleeds in. Still bleeds in. It's pretty good. It's not going to be completely great because this is still Valheim. We're still pretty limited on some stuff. On everything else, I have thought about trying to make it a little bit smoother by taking the beams out and everything else, but the support's going to be necessary. I could put like a small like little thing right here and put that there and then take out these end beams, but I kind of like it there just for the additional support. I think it's still going to give me the same illusion I'm looking for. It's still going to be quite nice. Now once I get tar, I'm going to come and replace this entire roof with tar roofs, because that will actually give me the look that I'm really looking for. But for now, this is going to fit perfectly well. We haven't quite made it to the plains yet, so we don't have tar just yet, but I really wanted to do this build. It's been stuck in my head for a while. Eat my food. So I really wanted to just dive into it even before I got the tar. But I'm going to finish up the rest of the roof. It's going to be basically the same thing like that. Now, that's just one section. I'm going to show you how I'm going to be doing the next. So just like the other build that I did, we're going to get this sucker out here, and we are going to be building it up here. So it's going to have this one section there, and then I will be doing something. Attack me? No idea. See if I can get that right there. So it's going to stick out just like this, and it's going to wrap around just like my previous build is. That's that correctly there. There we go. This back on here. And one more here. Just like that. And then it'll be wrapped around all the way there. And then the next floor is going to be just the same. Well, it's not going to be just the same. It's going to be, since that's going to be up there, this is only going to have one. It's just going to have just this piece right here. There. And we're still going to have the ability, so it's still going to jut out a little bit, but not too far, because just like all the rest of the builds, like all traditional, you can see the level that the layering. So the bottom one sticks out farther than the middle one, and the middle one sticks out farther than the very top one. So you have this tier pointed type build, which you see in a lot of traditional type builds for Japanese castles, as well as just overall other buildings as well, traditional style. So that's what gives me the ability to do that. So this is going to work out pretty nice. Now I'm going to be running around. I'm going to finish up the rest of the roof. Again, it's going to be pretty much just that same all the way around, just like I have that. It's going to be the same over there. So then we'll touch base once I have the full roof in. And then all that's really left is to come in and start hiding these little beams here, and building out the walls and doing all that. And then we'll see what that looks like, all plain, and then we'll do one more when I have it all decorated. It's going to be pretty slick, and because we still have that one, so that house, that section is going to be pretty, it's going to be just that floor. It's going to have a little bit of a dent up, and it's going to have the same type of roof style as this. So it's going to have that same style, so I'm going to build that up as well and just knock all that out. And right there in that opening is going to be a gate, but that's going to be more for like all the detail stuff. But I'll go ahead and also fill in that section as well to actually get that piece built. So anyways, I'll catch y'all once I get all that done. So hell yeah, let's get to it. Now we got the roofs all done. Now we don't have to worry about the rain anyways, but you can see how it turned out. Turned out quite nice. You got that triple layer effect. You have the wider middle and then the smaller one at the very top. It seems like my inner chimney is still working out pretty slick, even with the roof up top. It collects up there, but it does have areas to escape. And since it's so high up, it's not going to clog anything else downstream. So it's going to be it turned out pretty nice. It's starting to really look really slick. I'm actually really happy in how this is turning out and everything else. This is pretty cool. It's just straight off the top of my head trying to figure out what the best way to do this or how to set this up. So this is going to be pretty slick. So what we're going to do again, like I said, from here is we're going to put in the walls, going to put in the doors, the rooms. I'm going to build this sucker up, going to build the middle section up, going to build the little mini wall gate there, and we'll probably build a small little outpost down there. We're going to see what all it looks like at that point, and then the final will be the final walkthrough once it's all decorated. The kitchen's fully stocked, though there's chests everywhere. Everything is organized and everything else, so it's not just the main building process and everything. Since all my builds are not done in build mode, this is all scavenged materials, cut down trees, no fly mode, no god mode, none of that. So that's how we build in this game. I don't do all the simple fly around and everything else. I find that the part of the enjoyment of the game and the type of building of it is not doing it in God mode and actually playing it and building as the game intended. I think it's just means a little bit more to me at that point. It means it was more of a challenge. But anyways, y'all, I will catch y'all on that little bit once everything is filled in, the other building stuff. So stay tuned for that. Watch the glowing eyes. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. And before we actually get there, if you are enjoying this build and everything else, and you want to see more, and you want to see more rides just like this one, y'all know the drill. Don't forget to shoot that like and subscribe button down below to join the posse so we continue on growing. And don't forget to click that bell as well so you don't miss any more rides just like this one. Well, y'all, let's get straight to the rest of the build. Alrighty, y'all, we're almost done with this build. I wanted to give you a progress report to see where we are at. I got all the walls up, as you can see. I got the kitchen one all built up. I even put this little station right here. I'm going to put some mannequins there. They're going to be like the guards and whatnot. We still got lots of torches to put out here. We have lights to put out here. We have some filling to put out here, some grass. I got windows to put in. So this is how this building turned out. I wanted to pop it up, try to give that little feel there, and got that same rooftop that we do up there. It just has that little connector, this connector there is the only main difference on that point. I also went around and took out, let me run down over here. I took out all the beams that came all the way down. So that's now it's just resting right on top of the foundation, which is more traditional looking. So I'm loving how that turned out. We still have some more detail stuff to do, some more little hiding of the iron stuff in there. The iron poles, we can hide those, and I'll show you how to do those here in a second. But I got my little gate up. So it gets my little courtyard. Still got lots of wood, lots of chopping down trees. But we still got to get this all detailed out, get some lights out here. But I did get this all built up. So this, I mean, these are all just basic setup. So it's nothing too crazy. That's why I didn't really go through on like how to do this. But I mean, just to do like the all outline. I mean, we all know there's the basic stuff, and it's raining. So let's get inside. So everything is, so this is the hallway that connects to the two. I figure we're going to put some torches or something up here, maybe some decorations up there, maybe some trophies, so smaller head trophies up there, so you can like see those type of things, or weaponry, stuff like that. We're going to try to spruce up this little intersection here. Let's go check out the kitchen so you can see what this looks like. So this is the kitchen. It actually looks really kind of slick. So this is pouring up here and is filling out. It's not a traditional chimney, but since how this top roof is sticking out and is actually giving the cover, this will just vent out and go out that direction. So this way we can actually get full use of the fire, and it's properly venting. It's not coming into this little section, and we have plenty of headspace. We can do whatever we want in here. All what I did here, as you can see, is I did some lining, so you can see that the wall still back there. You just put the lining, same thing, to put a lining on top. That's going to give you that. I got to come in here and put glass. That's why I left these like squared like this. Nothing too fancy, but notice that I didn't do this. Oh, I did do this. It is there. Okay, it's just being kind of weird. But anyways, glass is going to go here, so it actually gives the thing of windows. I could make the smaller windows. Actually, I don't think I have those yet. I know eventually we'll get, yeah, no, there they are. Okay, I just need to get some bronze nails. I could make some of those. Maybe I'll add those on the roof and whatnot. So let's get inside here. So we got this door here. This will lead up in here. I mean, we already know the bottom of here. I'll just give you a quick little tour. So we know that we have the fire going on underneath. That's just kind of funny. Great little underground storage section where the workbenches are going to go. This could also be the workstation for a lot of stuff. So if this was just your primary build, you could like set up each little section and have this be your workstation, and the courtyard could have your smelter, or you can use another section or whatever to have all your smelting. Then this is going to be the community center, so we're going to have like the big tables up here, plenty of chairs. Probably try to put like a little bar. I know it's not a Western style, or not a Japanese style, but I think I might have like a little mini bar here, and put like drinks in there, because this is still Viking. It's still Viking here. The other thing you can see that I did add is these little lips. I went back and I did look up some. I was like, hey, I'm going to see if there's any like little roof details that I'm just not thinking of. So I pulled up some pictures and saw of some Japanese roofs, and I was like, oh, there's these little nicks here. So all that is, as you can see, it's just a regular roof and then this little angle here to connect to the roof, and then it gives the illusion of it sticking out just like that. And I left this open around this entire bottom section because it will provide, I think it's like the iron set provides airflow into here. So also, while I'm standing here, so the way to hide these things is, I mean, they don't hide perfectly, but you can put regular wood right over them, just like so. And it hides them, not 100%, but it is still pretty decent. So you can at least hide them to give that illusion of there's no iron just sticking out the wall like that. You can just hide them up just like this. And I got to go around and do that for all the iron that I have exposed, even the same for these things here, to really take away that iron's just sticking out and everything else. I'm not going to get rid of everything, but it's still at least going to do a lot better than that. It'll look a lot better. All right, so the next floor, just to give you a quick rundown, so you can see I kind of angled, since I have this jutted in, I angled this little section here and this little section, so I got the two rooms. So we got the two rooms here, and so I put this bed so I can sleep in it right away. It sits in a little nook. I might decorate it early, or I might have my buddy Surface come in and decorate this for me. Provide her all the materials, because that's her jam. The building aspects is not her jam, but the decoration, she is awesome, and she's great at that. And she actually finds pretty much enjoyment. She likes doing those little details. Now, I did think about blocking up this window, but on the outside, it just helps with the symmetrical section, and so I'm just going to leave it. This room turned out okay as well. I mean, it's just a little narrower one, but you can have, this is where the bed can sit, because it's sitting closer to where the fire is, the warmth, and then this could be, I don't know, whatever Surface thinks it might fit. And then next, get to the third floor. This is just where I gotta piece into this. This is just venting up here. It collects and it's going to feed out the sides whenever the little bit that it does need to. But this is just like this is going to be like the armory and archery and stuff like that. We'll put some like archery stuff up here, some bows, boxes with arrows or something in there, put some bows on the wall. This is the lookout section. So I know it's raining, so you don't really get a good view, but we have our little outside deck all out here. So it's all wrapped around and everything. So you can see at least a little bit more of the courtyard and this whole base. It's actually kind of cool. I actually really dig how this all turned out. I'm pretty excited about it. I can't wait to get the rest of the detail stuff in. And so we'll have one more final view of this place when it's fully decked out with lights and furniture and everything else we can do right now. Maybe get some nicer beds in here, because we do have the wolf hides and everything else to get those bigger beds in here. So this is, I hope y'all are liking this build. I really do. And it's been a fun building this. This has been a big challenge. Even though I'm supposed to be doing smaller builds, but technically, other than it being tall, it's really compact, which I'm pretty surprised that I was able to do that. And it's kind of nice. I like it. I like it. Anyways, y'all, let's me finish all the rest of the detail work, and we'll see how the final product looks like. Alrighty, y'all, we just finished up the entire build. Everything we can possibly do until we get go to the plains, until we get more items we can actually add and make it a lot nicer looking, especially with tar. You get the tar roofs, and we can get better tables and whatnot. But we decorated. My buddy Surface helped me out tremendously with the decorations, because this took a lot. I think it took us longer to decorate the entire thing than me to build the actual building out itself. It's decoration is like one of the key best parts about building. It actually makes the building more alive and actually brings it to more of a home or a base. Because if you just built the frame, it's like, yeah, the frame could be cool, but it's the decorations that really tie it in. So we're going to do a walkthrough. I'm going to show you all these little things, give you a little couple tips on how we actually did some of it. Because there's a couple of things that we kind of did. It's actually kind of a neat way to do it. So I hope you all like this overall build and the decorations and all this work. And again, if you did, please let me know down below. Shoot that like button. It helps me out tremendously. So y'all, let's get straight into it. So as you can see, we have ourselves a nice little pathway that comes right up. Pretty cool. And then this is a drawbridge because this road goes up to my buddy's surfaces. That goes to her place. She did a dirt that comes over here and connects it in. These little stones are really cool. So if you have the hoe out, you can do this and you can actually like lay the stones down. It's really cool. She actually used it up in the courtyard. We'll see that in a second. So this is the guard post. So we put two little armors in here. So this is like where the guards go. So they guard the front end, make sure no one, gets in and whatnot. It's just a simple little construction. Didn't make anything fancy out of it because it's the guard post. It's not supposed to be fancy. We got ourselves, so I went over to Hildor and got these little fire braziers, beautiful little suckers. The stone walkways always comes out great. You can see that I added glass to a lot of this, so it came out really cool. I don't know if I showed you that, Aaron. Like I said, it took a while to decorate all this. So we got one little blue fire. I love these blue ones. They're super cool. I don't really care much for the green. The blue ones are very pretty. So we have that one to light up this little section. And now we're actually going to get in the courtyard so you can see the start of this amazing build that we put together. So this is our beautiful little bridge and whatnot. So let's open both of these up. And then boom, we have our cart path. These are going to grow into flowers. I did want to wait, but actually I did not want to wait for these to grow. I wanted to just show y'all as fast as I can. But y'all see them throughout the rest of the playthrough and everything. It's going to be very pretty. These are not going to be harvested. They are strictly for decorations because these will actually make the whatchamacallit, they'll make the flowers. You could, if this was like your main base and the only thing that you had, you could turn this into your garden so you can grow all your vegetables right here. This be perfectly fine and everything. So we'll go ahead and shut this. But the pathway around here, we have our ward with the decorations. It gives you that that more cherished totem, little statue, prayer statue, whatever you want to call it, like feel to it. So it really ties into the overall aspect what this is. Now we have the main two doors that goes into it. So when we open up, this is going to be our main like trophy hall. So you can see we have trophies lined up in here. Let me shut the door so you can see all what we have. We have all the ones that could fit, that actually fits pretty well up here. The little slots, since this is a stone section filled in, this turned out pretty slick in how this looks. You can put like some of our smaller cool trophies up here. Got the fire ones, dragons. There's room to probably put a couple more to squeeze in here. But you have the tail, you have the race deal. We can add more in here. Now eventually, I'm going to say this right here. For this little section, I do plan eventually, once we get more tar and we get some more stuff that needs to expand, we're going to blow a hole through here and we're going to build up onto the mountain section, and that's going to be like a spa section, and it's going to have like our grand big trophy displays and whatnot up there. It's going to be kind of interesting, and we've been talking about how that's going to look, so it's going to be pretty cool. So let's check out the kitchen first. I am super happy about how the kitchen is. She did a phenomenal job designing this out, way better than I can talk to my head. But it is super nice. It is super roomy. So what she did is she put these little pillars up here, or the little flat deals, which are these right here, the 1x1 floors, and then she put all these up here. And so we have double sides up here, so we can do all our cooking. We can just look up and we can grab. We have a lot of freaking carrots. Didn't realize we had that many carrots. And we have room to grow for once. That's also a lot of deer meat. Room to grow so we can get more like lox meats and all this other stuff when we get to the ash and everything. But beautiful build, beautiful like layout. I love this indeed. But it still also has plenty of room to grow and add more to this, so we can continue to level this up. So it is nice and cozy. Again, this is our cozy build run. Even though this is a big build, it's still considered a cozy build. I was trying to figure out, because compared to a lot of my other builds that I've done, they were massive. There's way more room. It's not this cramped, but or coziness. You don't get that coziness. You get an overwhelming of room in the other ones. This is nice, cozy, it's compact, and it works. We got all the potions we have. Of course, this will expand out once we get the other potions, fire resistant potions and everything. So, well, there's plenty of room to grow to get that little bit more decorations and everything to it. A little work table, chopping up, see the little wooden knife. It's really cool. So what you do is you put that little item stand there and you put that there. Skewers, food, very, very cool. We got the smaller chest, so when we need to put the like cooked foods and stuff like that, all goes in there. So that's the kitchen. It turned out really nice. I'm super happy how that turned out. So we're gonna do now. We're gonna get into the main section. We're gonna go down the basement and then start working our way up. So we're gonna open the door. We're gonna come straight down here and open this sucker. There's not a whole lot we did down here. Just added a few extra little things. We kept the workbenches in here, so if anything breaks or if I need to add to it, so I don't have to run all the way down to our actually workstation area with all our other stuff is. At least this is here to actually repair the buildings and add to it, and I don't have to bring it back and forth. And it all sits right here in the bottom, which kind of works. But if this was your main base and everything else, this could accommodate for your entire workstation. It's actually pretty cool. Then I put the wood here to have something fill in here to act for like fuel for the fire pits and whatnot. So this is like a good little spot to put all that. Then there's our little vault. So we have, you know, all our gems or golds and shit little personal chests that have gems in them. So we have all our money just sitting right here. It's real pretty behind there. Then we decided to put two cells in here. Eventually we'll be able to put down skeletons and stuff like that. And so we're going to put some skeleton bodies in there, skeleton heads. I think that'd be kind of a cool little decoration. But this is the prison. It just ties into more of like the aesthetic of a castle, because castles have prison and whatnot. But obviously you don't need to utilize this. You can utilize this additional workstation space if you needed to, if you were utilizing it for anything else. But this ward guy, we stuck him down here because the one ward doesn't cover the entire place. It's a little bit off. So we added a second one, so we put him down here. So he is the warden of these two jail cells. So it actually works out pretty cool. All right, now let's get to the next like awesome, fun, super detailed section. It's gonna be really, really cool. Why am I stuck? I'm gonna be stuck there. All right, so let's get up here. So this is the hangout hall. This is where like all our hanging out or our thrones are, so we can judge people. So there's a couple of things in here that is really cool. Service brought them up and I saw them. I was like, this is really cool. First one up, we're gonna come and this is a throwing knife, throwing axes type place. You can think about it as like Viking style or medieval type style or ancient whatever style darts. So this is where you stand, and this is where you're gonna throw all your stuff to pin it at the actual dart thing. I thought that was a really cool little thing to have, the hangout section. Tons of tables. You can have your entire military, your entire group, all your buddies right here hanging out. Very, very cool. Circling around, you have the good old bar. Every place should have a bar, especially a Viking place. You need a bar so you can have someone back there to hand out drinks and everything. Plenty of storages. We did bring back one dragon egg so we can cook it up so everyone can eat it. So it just sits right there in the middle. It's really cool. If you don't know how to do that, again, it's just an item stand that sits in the fire, doesn't burn. Then you just put the egg on top of the item stand. That's how that sits there. And then we have two thrones. The stone throne is mine, and the wooden one is Surface's. And then this is the guy that we got the other day, or later on, or whatnot. Beat him, so we stuck his head up there. It's a good little fit. That's a cool trophy. It's one of my favorite trophies by far. It's really cool. And this, since we have a bear head there, with this entire thing, she had a good idea of putting a cultist trophy head. So you get a little item stand, then you put a Kofi tread so it sticks out, so you have the same effect as the bear. And then she put these little three things out here. So if we're sitting here, either we need to debate with somebody or scold them and yell at them. The other cool little thing, at first I saw this, I was like, what is this? And then I saw the two wooden swords on the wall. It's like, this is a little training section or a little little battle out, little test fighting rink and stuff like that. It's a little dueling rink. It's really kind of a fun little thing. I thought this was cool. So she added this in. I think this just ties into the whole aesthetic of just hanging out, throwing axes and deals, battling it out, drinking, having fun, and whatnot. We also put the little treasure chest down here so it collects all the money from all the purchases of ale and whatnot, the bartender's box and whatnot. All right, so now we're gonna get up to the second room that has the 2 rooms, and this is only a two room place. I mean, obviously you can retrofit this to fit however you want, but this is a 2-room thing. So we're going to start off with surfaces. So we open it up here. She did a pretty cool job. We have the big beds. She put a lot of these decorations on the wall. I didn't do this in my room, but they are real pretty. But we got her room here, and then she did this for her deal. So all you can see what this is just the single wall slats there, the 1-bys. Then she put wooden shutters here. I didn't put the wooden shutters there just because it opens up in there, but it actually gives a different look to it, so it's kind of nice. So you have the bottom cabinet section, and then you have all the little items, all the little pendants, the Heart of the Forest, iron brooch and whatnot, then your little personal chest, the key, and the little hat. Then she stuck a couple of things here she's going to add to this as we go. It's always going to be added to, expanded to, and everything else. But a personal chest, personal little table, 2 chairs. And then on my room, which is over here, I did still the same big bed, but mine's actually next to the fireplace to stay a little bit warmer. I got mine has the big bear in here as well. But I also wanted to stick Eikthyrs trophy in here because I actually like that big sucker. I like having a deer trophy. I also put clothing stands in here, so these are like my formal wear. So I have a blue one and a red one, depending on which side I want to do, or what I feel for the colors and whatnot. So I went and got those from Hilder, stuck them in there, so it just adds to, like, this is more of my little room. I just have a big table so I can do my work with my nice little mug, the 1 chair so I can focus on my own personal chest there. Well, that's the personal chest, but main chest there. So you can see I didn't do the deal, so you have a different look from this, but it still has like the same idea. But everything else is still like the only, like, utilizing the metal to really give it that more of a outring frame of a chest, or wire. That's the word, wire. But I got my key, but I stuck a certain cord. You can't stick, so you get the wishbone. You can't put the wishbone on the item thing. So I thought that was kind of weird. But one of the few things you can't put in there. Same thing with the headlamp. Can't put it on an item stand. It's really weird. But we got that personal chest for other stuff. I have my own little yellow hat, bronze pendant, and Heart of the Forest right there. You can always add more to it for better decorations or more decorations. Can put stuff on there. But all in all, this is my room. Turned out pretty nice, and it's cozy. It's very, very cozy. Really, really nice. And then finally, we'll get all the way up to the top. So this is the archery area. So this is the defense section. It's pretty barren because, again, we can add more to it. But again, we didn't know really what to add up here other than a bunch of bows. And if we make other bows and we don't need them anymore, they go up here. But this is typically where, like, you know, if we're under attack, a bunch of people's going to run up and grab the bows and defend the castle by shooting arrows off the sides. So this is where they would come get their arrows, their bows, grab them, and get to work. So they just open this up and run around and start shooting and defending this entire place. Now, this is the balcony, which turned out really, 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 really nice. But so check out this view. So this is the view of this place. So it's a great spot, I think. It just overlooks the entire area. This game is just gorgeous. But it overlooks the entire, you can see the dock out there. You can see the water. You can see the land, the islands, the open sea, the ground where we have tons more wood just laying around. The pathways. I took out the oak tree that's there so I can look over and see, I know the glare from the sun, but I can see our teleportation tower just right there, our little pig rink and everything. You can see the courtyard from right here. It is really cool. Like, this turned out really nice. So what I was talking about at the very beginning, once we entered in here, I was talking about blasting a hole through here, 2 steps up, flatten those right where those trees are, take those out, flatten that out, and there's going to be like a bathhouse, a Japanese style bathhouse. Stuck that over there with those things. And then over on the other side, there's going to be like the trophies, or we'll utilize the bathhouse and put the trophies around the bathhouse to like just more of a cooler decoration style or something. I don't know. We'll figure that out when we get to there. But up there is going to be where the bathhouse is going to be, so it's going to be pretty slick. But again, I thought this turned out absolutely amazing. I really, really, really did. The decorations was top tier, top notch. So thank you again, Surface, for jumping on and helping me with that and coming up with these great ideas. The overall build turned out great. Super happy in how this sucker turned out. So I hope y'all like it a lot. Again, I do hope, I really do hope y'all like it. Let me just know in the comments. But anyways, y'all stay tuned for additional rides, additional builds. We're getting closer and closer to the release. By the time this video probably drops, it might be released by then. Hopefully not. But if it is, we'll be transitioning to the 1.0 release. So it's going to be pretty cool. Pretty cool. So I'm happy in how this game's going to turn out. We have a lot more Valheim coming in. So I'll catch y'all on the next ride. Adios, y'all.